That's charge versus bosses. I think it was pretty okay. Man, that's some damage, yes? Yeah, he just dies. Okay, charge can kill Duriel pretty easy. Hey everybody, it's Rob here, bringing you the Charge Barb Barbarian. I've been getting a lot of questions, and I decided to make this build guide video early. I might follow it up in the end with some more detailed version, but I've been rocking the Charge Barb here, and it is pretty strong. And there is some very, very interesting and potentially even like broken mechanics that I want to go into real quick. So first of all, there is the new ring, which is called Ravenous, and if you combine this with the Earth Striker, you can unlock some pretty interesting tech here. So you see we have 4 Earth Striker stacks right now. I'm at the testing area here, there's Striker dummies. So we just use the Earth Striker with charge, and once we charge, you see we get actually from 4 to 6 stacks. Notice we have the bludgeoning weapon assigned, and what you want to do is assign your bludgeoning weapon to your charge, or you dual wield, but usually bludgeoning is the best, because bludgeoning weapons, they have a lot of hidden multipliers like the Wallop, giving you another 15x multiplier, and then you also have basically just a bunch more stuff in your expertise here, also giving you another 15x multiplier if it hits a vulnerable target. So you can also like just decide to make a target vulnerable, like this, and then charge it. You can already see it's hitting for like 300 million, which is also enough to one-shot any boss. And this allows us to proc our Earth Striker super crazy fast, like there's no tomorrow basically. Because every time we charge, we are getting 2 stacks. And this is because of the Ravenous ring, which is casting Rend. And Rend is, or requires a slashing weapon. So you can see here, I'm with my slashing weapon after the charge. And this is just gonna happen time and time again once I do this here like this. And I charge, boom. And you see here at the end, I'm always with my slashing weapon, which right now is the Grandfather. So it's switching between the weapons every time I attack. And you can actually do some pretty fast rotation, as you guys may know. I have a video about all the settings that I use below. Like, so you want to hold down 4 stand still, you want to hold down force move, which I use on my mouse wheel. And when you do this, you can actually do like a super fast rotation and get your Earth Striker. Oh, I did bosses, wait. We need to do elite. On bosses, there's like some minor bug where the charge is not resetting properly, even if you're charging multiple bosses. So what we're basically doing here is we're resetting everything and super fast. You see my Earth Striker stacks down there? It goes up to like it goes up to like 8 stacks, like super duper fast if I do it properly. And yeah, it just stacks like crazy. And if we have actually some higher content like Avatar of Zia or something again in the future, like this is going to be a very crazy DPS build to just sustain DPS, because you're just switching through those Earth Strikers with 2 skills only that you're using. And whenever you get like some cooldown, you can just press your shouts to reset the cooldown of charge with Marshall. So this is some pretty crazy like synergy basically. So what I use here is bludgeoning on charge, and then that also gives me the slashing proc, and then I use dual wield on whirlwind. And then you can actually choose which weapon, which ultimate passive you want to take. You can also take Walking Arsenal, and what this allows you to do is even faster, because like you're getting 20% attack speed on top of all of this, right? So look how fast we are switching through these weapons now, and the numbers we're already taking. Obviously, sometimes if I charge a bit too far, you have to be a bit careful that you do like shorter charges, so your engines actually hit the guys 3 times. But yeah, I mean, my gear is not optimal right now. I definitely want to get a ring that has 3 ranks of brawling, because every rank of charge is reducing its cooldown further. And right now I have 9.6, and the goal is to bring this like around 9 seconds with Banished Lords, because Banished Lords still gives you the stacks. It basically gives you 2.2 times X DPS, but it doesn't give you overpower procs on your charge. What it does, when it stacks up here, let me stack it real quick. What it does do is, like you see this 300 stacks, and the Rend that is procced by Ravenous is actually consuming those charges and basically producing an overpower. So here with Whirlwind, I can just do this all I want. It doesn't never proc, but if I do this, boom, it procs, and it procs another overpower because of these weapon switch mechanic. And you see here I'm on my sword again. See, I'm dual wielding, and then whenever I start charging, it's going to switch to my mace. And then whenever the rend gets applied here, the bleed from the Ravenous Ring, I'm on my slashing weapon. So that's the first pretty interesting mechanic. And it gives you 3 weapon switch stacks, which basically allows you to get an insane amount of Fury if you want with Furious Impulse or with other stacks, because you're basically weapon switching like 3 times with doing like 2 attacks, which is completely nuts. It can also unlock you like a bunch of other effects like Fortify, healing, things like that. But we mainly use it to trigger our Earth Striker. Then the next interesting mechanic with Ravenous here that I noticed, it is basically giving you more rend duration. It's proccing 2 rends whenever we stack. This one drops from the Beast in Ice, by the way, if you're wondering. And it does not take any of the runes here. So even though if you would skill these runes, it wouldn't really help you. But what it does do is it takes the base rend damage. So putting extra points like I have here, because I need a certain amount of points in the core section, does increase our bleed damage. And on Whirlwind, I mean, you can take the bleed here as well, but I don't really, like, we already have enough bleed, right? So we just take the Fury rune and we're done with it, basically. And then you take the rest of the points in Rend, and again, the runes don't work unless you put Rend on your bar. But the reason you do not want to put Rend on your bar, and the reason we take Whirlwind, is because Whirlwind can't overpower. You see here, I have the stacks here. My next attack is guaranteed to overpower. So you see, Whirlwind can't do it. But if I were to take Rend here, and obviously we want the overpower procs to go to our charge. So if I take the Rend here and do it, boom, it's like stacks are gonna be gone. See, like stack is gone and now it needs to fill up again. So Whirlwind is definitely the best play. You can also take like HotA or something if you want to do damage. But HotA as well can take you overpowers from your charge, and our charge is doing a tremendous amount of damage. And it can also kill the boss, no problem. So on the boss, I get a lot of questions because many people basically fail to do damage on the bosses. What you need to do, if you watch your charge, there's like a little cone in front of you. Like, you do not want to charge through the boss. Let's say we just go for like a single dummy. Like, what you don't want to do is this. See, because it didn't hit it. You don't want to charge through it. What you want to do is charge in front of it. Like this. You see 170 million. So you want to charge like very close to it. I can show this to you again. If I charge through it, like let's say this is the boss and I just press charge through it, it doesn't even hit it. You see this? And this is where a lot of people struggle because it can't, you know, pull the boss with you, even with the charge aspect here. It just can't take the boss with you. So that's why you basically want to, you know, charge in front of the boss. Like this. Boom. It's going to make it like way better. Well, I don't know exactly how it works on the console, chat. Like, if there's a problem with console, then yeah, I guess there's a problem with console. But yeah, here it works really well. So charge in front of the boss, not through the boss. And like this, like you can basically, you see this is hitting for 500 million. Obviously I have a grandfather, but you can just take like a normal weapon. And I have 2 planners with the entire setup that I'm going to put in the description. So this is the Whirlwind Endgame charge. And there is also the same version without the Uber Uniques. And if you don't have a grandfather, then you want to take the Veterans Brawler Aspect. And this also has a pretty crazy synergy with your Whirlwind, because you're stacking it up like really fast with your Whirlwind, because it's ticking a lot and you stack it up like instantly. You don't have to wait. Like if you were like to play HotA or something, it would take like way longer to basically charge up. So this one is really strong, and I strongly recommend you taking that rune. Okay, so next let's go over the setup. So right now with the Uber version, I'm actually going to take you to the planner in a second, but here we have Harlequin's Crest. If you don't have Harlequin's Crest, you can take the Iron Blood, because now we are proccing Bleed with our Ravenous. You're going to get a lot of Iron Blood procs, which gives you more damage reduction. Then we have Juggernaut here. This one gives us insane armor. You see, it's very easy. It's not even 800 item power chest, and I already have max armor. So this is one item that gives you max armor, easy peasy. Then on the gloves here, we're rocking main stat, attack speed, crit chance. You could also go overpower. I have Rend stacks right now because, again, we are actually attacking with Rend, right? So our Rend is doing at least some damage, but I think in the end it's going to be better to just go with overpower here, because again our charge just overpowers. So just really important that you assign the right weapons. Mace on charge in this build, and dual wield on WW. This will give you all 3 stacks. Then we have Talbot's Will. So there is also the option, if you don't have Talbot's Will, to play, or even if you have Talbot's Will, to play ranks of charge on your pens. But Talbot's Will just has such a crazy synergy because the charge makes you unstoppable for a second. So even if you're like struggling with Fury or something, you just charge and it gives you full Fury instantly. So I always recommend Talbot's Will because it is more damage. It gives you 40% X. But you might as well take, you know, one of these. It's fine, like with extra charge ranks, especially if you're struggling a bit. If you don't have Shaco yet, it's probably better to use charge ranks on your pens, because like that it just makes it a lot easier to, you know, keep up your charge. Because now my charge is actually like 9-second cooldown and I can just like blast through all the time basically. So yeah, that's the 2 options you have there. And then on boots you usually want movement speed, double res and injured. I have actually pretty good boots, I still need to roll them higher. But this is also how you get your resistance. You take 2 res or even triple res on boots, and then take the other 2 color res on your jewelry. Then we're rocking Ancestral Charge on our 2-hander. Here you want all stat, main set, overpower, berserking, really strong. 1.6 multiplier, and it also gives you like all the dudes that charge with you, right? They are really sick. Then we have Elements. Elements works for everything, and you can snapshot this. I made a video about this already. So whenever you enter the area, you unequip your main weapon and you just snapshot the 1.6. So this one actually gives you 60% damage half the time, which is pretty insane. Then we have the Earth Striker here. Again, we talked about it earlier. It's all the weapon switches, pretty crazy DPS. And then we have the Grandfather, or again the Veteran's Brawler Aspect if you don't have Grandfather. And then we get to our rings. It's pretty straightforward. We want Bolt's Chieftain because Bolt's Chieftain can reduce the cooldown of our shots. You see, we only have like 16 seconds cooldown. And this is thanks to the Martial Glyph. My Paragon board is like not correct right now. Thanks to the Martial Glyph, it basically reduces the cooldown of every skill. And it has a tremendous synergy with Bolt's Chieftain. So whenever you like fail your charge, let's say you only hit like, I don't know, no enemy, you can just press your shouts to have your charge ready again. So you have like some margin of error that you can basically make up for. So if you're missing it, you can still win. And then we are playing the Ring of Revenants. I still have to get a better one. It's really important to get high crit chance and +3 ranks of brawling skills. I'll have to farm this again, Beast and Ice. And then we are playing the Banished Lords. So many questions here as well. We are not getting benefit for the overpower on our charge, but we are still getting double damage, more than double damage. And we are getting the crit chance here, which is really important because basically only your crits with Grandfather, with Banished Lords, and with skills like Heavy-Handed, it's basically, and the crit damage multipliers and all the crit damage that you have, basically only crits deal tremendous damage. So we are stacking actually 70% crit chance here. And we can get even more if we use the Mortal Draw Glyph. We can almost reach 100%. Right now, my Paragon board, I prefer Exploit. But if you have, for example, a group member that makes them vulnerable, you can take the Mortal Draw Glyph. I don't even think I have it leveled right now. But yeah, it's basically like easy switches. Like you can use Exploit here, or you can use the Mortal Draw here. For whenever you're switching weapons, you get another 18 crit chance that would put us to 88%. But I'm not using that right now. So alternatively, if you're struggling with cooldown, you can use a necklace like this. Obviously, like the first stat is trash and you need higher cooldown, but you can get even more ranks to your brawling skills. Let's say we're rocking these two. Now my charge is already on rank 22 and it only has 8 seconds cooldown, like just base. So like we can just perma-charge, right? Like we don't even need to do anything else, we can just perma-charge. Like very simple. But this is a bit overkill, like you don't need this. But it's certainly a possibility if you don't have a Banished Lords, or if you just like to have more cooldown and more flexibility. And I believe that charge is actually going to be one of the best builds for the Gauntlet, because it looked to be like about Greater Rift level 70 power. So we'll see how that's going to turn out. But if it's going to be true, we don't need Banished Lords on a Greater Rift level 70 power. And we'll just be fine without it. So then you don't need all this damage that you get from Banished, and you can just play like a cooldown necklace and just perma-charge all the time. Even if you miss like a charge here or there, again, you can just press your shots and then your charge is ready again, right? So it's pretty chill. And then on expertise, We are rocking Axe Expertise for the 1.15 multiplier. And we are rocking the Mace usually because it gives you another 1.15 multiplier on top of this. So pretty crazy. Thanks for the gifted subs. Then we get to our skill tree. I think actually I need to... So there is a couple options. Let's first talk about the key passive. You do not want to play Unbridled Rage. So you don't play Unbridled Rage because Charge is not a core skill, and this one only buffs would buff your Whirlwind, so that's bad. You don't want to play Gushing Wounds because again our Charge is not bleed. It does proc Rend damage and bleed, but Rend is not the main damage, and Gushing Wounds sadly is bugged. And it's not a proper damage multiplier, so even if you're playing a Rend version, you would rather take one of the other key passives. So we have 2 key passives left that we can play. Unconstrained, which has a crazy synergy with Wrathed Berserking and Supreme Wrathed Berserking, roughly doubling our damage. Or we play Walking Arsenal, which also gives us attack speed. I actually like both of them. I think for most people, Unconstrained is just gonna be better, it's just gonna be easier. But if you want to try hard, Walking Arsenal is slightly better because you can switch around your like all your weapons like super fast, and you just have like a very fast and strong rotation overall. But it comes down to personal preference. You know, Unconstrained is just like you just pick it and you forget about it. Like it's easy to keep, you don't need to do anything specific. So I think for most people, Unconstrained is the play. But Walking Arsenal can be slightly better, because Walking Arsenal, every stack is a separate multiplier, right? So you're getting, I think it's 10%, right? So you're getting 10, 10, and 20. You're getting 1.1 times 1.1 times 1.1. It's all separate times 1.2 if you have all of them. And then you're also getting about 20% attack speed, which is another 1.15. Oh, yeah, that was bad. Divided by 115 and then times 1.15. So you're getting like 83%, and then you also have the synergy with Supreme Wrathed Berserk, so you're getting roughly double. It's pretty crazy with Walking Arsenal as well. So lots of cool stuff. But in general, the skill tree is gonna be looking like I have in the planner. Like you have 1 point in Lunging Strike usually. Doesn't matter, like you just 2 points to unlock the core section, then you have 2 points in Whirlwind, and you have the other 2 points. You can't take them out sadly because you need it to unlock the next section, so just put them in Rend. It's 20% more bleed damage. You could also put them in Pressure Point to extend vulnerability. It really depends, but usually when you're doing speedruns, you kill everything in your Exploiter's uptime. So you're just getting enough damage from the Exploiters and everything dies already. But you can do either way. Then we're rocking 3 points in Imposing Presence. This is Strategic Rallying Cry, very important. We don't need resource generation because, again, we don't really spend that many resources. So we take Strategic Rallying Cry. Then we're rocking Outburst, Tough as Nails. You also don't need to take this. I just like them because it applies bleeds. And it also applies bleeds to range dudes, while our Rend and Charge, like say there's an Archer somewhere, you're not necessarily hitting it with your Charge. Oh yeah, I have to go to the World Boss as well. Okay, then we have Challenging Shout. Rallying Cry, Shout Support, Max Charge, obviously. Here this one gives us Permanent Berserking, Close Damage, Counter Offensive, again we're getting Fortify with Strategic Rallying Cry. And we have the triple damage bonuses here, all the multipliers. Furious Impulse for Fury to just Whirlwind indefinitely, and Wrathed Berserk, and then one of the key passives that you want. Let's actually head to the World Boss real quick, so I can show you how this build kills the World Boss. Where's that? Oh, 1 minute, okay. Oh, we'll make it, boys. So I can show you, I mean, you saw in the intro already, like we can basically one-shot bosses. Fractured Peaks. Okay, let's see how it's gonna perform against a World Boss. We can definitely, like, I one-charged the World Boss before. And you can also one-charge Duriel. Like, it's not a big issue. You just go there and you one-charge him. You just need to be careful that you charge in front of him and not, like, through him, you know? So I will show this to you right now on the World Boss. Yeah, okay, we can just play Unconstrained. It's kind of whatever. I wanted to assign these points. Okay, we still have 30 seconds. So here we take 2 points in Challenging Shout again. We unlock this. And then some bleed. Must take Talbot's Will. Kind of forgot. So you see, when we charge in the into nothingness, we are basically not getting Earthstriker stacks. Because it's not hitting with the Ravenous Rend. And then once he's targetable, boom. We can just take our stuff. And now we have Earth Striker, you see it? So it's still a pretty good build against the boss. I don't have all my multipliers right now. But you can certainly like min-max this even further. He's dead. But that's how fast you can kill the boss. And I didn't even do any snapshots or anything, so you can do this like way faster if I have. Because right now I have my like defensive like mixed setup that I would do rifts with. Like if you go full boss killer setup, for example, you go like full offensive on the chest. You get another multiplier on Bolt's Chieftain. And yeah, we're gonna be hitting for like about 1 billion as well, I think. And once you optimize everything. But yeah, I made it need to do the world bosses because else I'm running out of scattered prisms here. So yeah, let's finish with Paragon. Paragon, I'm actually going to show you in the planner here. Because my current in-game Paragon is wrong because I was playing HotA Barb and I'm just switching around all the time. So we are rocking Brawl here for 1.18 multiplier. Then we are rocking Bonebreaker for guaranteed overpowers. We're rocking Exploit here for guaranteed vulnerable. And again, here you can play Mortal Draw as well if you like. It really depends what you prefer. This one gives you 100% crit chance almost, or 90 something. Dominate, Decimator here on one side. Carnage here for fast weapon switching and attack speed. Ira here for more berserking. Crusher for the 1.3 multiplier. And this is also very important because it only gives you a 1.3x with maces. So you must select a mace on your charge. There's no other way. And then we have Marshall here for the cooldown reduction, and obviously Blood Rage with some more berserking damage for crazy DPS. That's basically the build. And again, there's different versions of it. If you don't like the Whirlwind version, I prefer the Whirlwind version because this is like a pure charge barb. Like, charge is all your damage. You can also switch it around and get HotA in, and then take the HotA Quake aspect, right? Like, there's like easy switches. If you like to have damage like aside from your charge, you know, you can just do this. This also works, but in the end, a pure charge barb will have the most success in terms of DPS. But there is many options. That's basically the build, my friends. I will probably make, I'll test a lot more and make a super in-depth guide because so many people still have so many questions. I think one thing to note at the end here is that you want to have quite some ranks into charge. So right now, if you don't have a Shaco, again, it's like super important to get charge rank on your boots. Don't play tie boots. Like, you need the charge ranks because you want it around 9 seconds. And you know, your pet is also going to help you a lot if you play Evernight. So this is my pet setup right now. I would put Genesis here if I had it. So right now we're rocking Evernight, and what Evernight is going to do is give us even more of damage reduction and cooldown reduction, and also damage on charge. So charge ranks basically double dip. You get more cooldown and you get more damage. I can just demonstrate here by like taking 1 point out. You see the cooldown goes down and the damage goes up. It's basically like double benefits. So you want to have at least rank 15 charge. So whenever my construct here decides to hit stuff, it's rank 15. So you see 9.6 sec. And this is like usually enough to like fully reset it when you hit 3 targets. But you want definitely below 10 seconds because the charge has an animation, right? Like, it takes some time to charge. And that's really important. And that's basically the build, my friends. Hope you enjoyed this overview, and I will see you on stream. Or give it a try. Charge Barb is a lot of fun, and I hope you guys take care. GG. You can actually also try, I forgot, a Nightmare Dungeon real quick. Maybe we'll do this at the end as well. Just a quick Nightmare Dungeon, you want to see? Oh, this is like one of the fastest builds again, and I think it's gonna be, in particular, crazy whenever we get to the real leaderboards. But here, this is how it plays in the run. So obviously HotA Barb is doing quite some more DPS to the targets, but in the end, I think it's gonna be all about movement speed in the gauntlet. And you don't even need to farm 100, right, to get like all the GG gear. Should probably pick that, but like just to get 925 gear, it is completely fine if you are just farming on tier 90. You see here, we just blast this down real quick. Oh, this is a big dead end. And we'll probably get this like a lot more movement speed focused in the end as well. I see the bleed and the rend already like strikes them down. Okay, let me pick some of these items because these are all like 925. Right? They have the potential to be like really good. Like all these items. See here, we're getting lots of stacks. And it's super fun. Bleed them all down. And again, the damage can be optimized like much further. The entire build probably can. But you see, once we overpower hit, basically everything dies. So we gotta go back to the boss. So now, like for the boss, you want to not attack. Because right now we are like saving our overpower procs. But the boss just spawns, I make him vulnerable usually. And then boom, I just one-shot him like that. Bam, and we level up Crusher. My glyphs are not even maxed right now. But yeah, guys, that's basically the build. Now we end. Was a pretty long video. I might do, you know, some more detailed guide, as I said. But these are basically my stats right now. Almost max everything, and yeah, looking pretty good. Hope you guys enjoyed, and try out the charge barb. Lots and lots of fun. Pure charge version. GG. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.